Why do narcissists like Gypsy Rose like to see their partners fail? Did you hear Ken on the Vile Files? He literally said he moved to New Orleans, leaving behind an apartment, a job that he had had for 2 years, and stability. He left all that behind. Since moving to New Orleans, he doesn't have a job. He claims that he does, but nobody's seen him out bartending anywhere in New Orleans. He's gained 20 pounds. And supposedly people are saying that he's moved in with Gypsy at Christie's house. So it feels like she has stripped this man of his entire dignity and his identity. And he has morphed into Gypsy. So he morphed into Gypsy, and now he says that he's trying to do more cooking. So does that mean that you guys are eating out a lot? He's gained 20 pounds. Does that mean that he's drinking more? Last video she posted of him, or posted with him, he was drinking with her dad. So, and we all know that Rod is a drunk. So why do narcissists like Gypsy like for their partners to fail at life? It's because they derive a sense of power and control by seeing their partner fail. And this dynamic serves a few purposes for them, and I'm going to go over a few in this video. So by witnessing their partner struggling, like right now, he doesn't have a job. He doesn't really have like a sense of independence. He's totally reliant on her financially. Gypsy feels superior. And if Ken fails, Gypsy will paint herself as the more capable, competent person in the relationship. It's another way for her to be like, oh, poor pitiful me. I'm the one who had to take care of him. He was completely worthless, that kind of thing. The second thing is for control and dependency. When you fail and when you are reliant on them, they know that you are dependent on them. And they can swoop in to rescue you, making them the savior. And this deepens the control that she has over Ken. And it can also create this constant cycle of him seeking approval from Gypsy for all this help that she is providing for him, especially with the finances. I talked about that in another video that I did on how he is literally right now financially dependent on her. Like I said, he says that he works, but if he was bartending in a bar in New Orleans, somebody would have seen him. Somebody would have taken a photo with him. There would have been some sort of evidence to prove that that story is true. And we haven't seen anything, so I'm likely to believe that he's not actually working. He did say that filming was like having a full-time job, but really? Is that what Gypsy tells him so that he doesn't go out and actually get a job so that he can be financially stable in his own right, so that if he wants to leave, he's not dependent on her financially? They also like to undermine your own confidence. So by sabotaging or discouraging your success, they weaken your self-esteem, making you less likely to leave or to challenge them. I'm sure Gypsy thrives on any insecurity that Ken has because it leaves her in a position of dominance. And we all know how she likes to be in control. Do you remember she said on the Vile Files, oh, I don't like having those type of conversations, when Nick Vile asked her about if they had been having conversations as to getting married. But she also said, he knows my thoughts about that. Meaning he knows that she wants him to propose and for them to get married. She just didn't want everybody else in the public to know that she's been pressuring him behind the scenes. Narcissists like Gypsy also like to see you fail because it is a deflection from her own personal flaws. Because when you're failing, it drives attention to you and away from her inadequacies. And narcissists hate being exposed. We all know how she despises anybody trying to expose the truth or anybody trying to hold her accountable in any way. So if Ken is struggling, the focus is no longer on her, it's on him. Narcissists like Gypsy also like manipulation through chaos. Narcissists like Gypsy thrive in chaotic environments. So when things are going wrong, it gives them more opportunity to manipulate, gaslight, and maintain control. It is about preserving her false sense of superiority while keeping Ken dependent and doubting his own worth. This cycle can be so toxic to get out of because you don't even realize what's happening until it's too late. And narcissists like Gypsy are very skilled at hiding the truth within their lies, often using manipulation tactics that distort realities in ways that can be difficult to detect. That's all I have for tonight, but if you think that I left something out, please put it in the comments below. If you like content like this, if you want me to expose somebody else's narcissistic behavior, I am all for a new subject. Gypsy is becoming old news, which is another thing that she doesn't really like. So I wanted to also mention that a lot of people were talking about her facial expressions and her reactions being asked about the Menendez brothers. I mentioned this in another video, but narcissists do not like it when the attention is not on them. They need to be the center of attention at all times. So when she called TMZ, because we all know she called TMZ to come and interview her at the airport. When she called TMZ to interview her at the airport, it was to put a positive spin on this whole advocacy and being an advocate for abuse victims and this entire thing. She did not expect for TMZ to ask her questions about other people. She expected them to come out and talk to her about herself so that she could look like she was this savior of the day. She's advocating for abuse victims everywhere. And she's all about prison reform. But Gypsy, what does prison reform actually mean to you? Because it does not mean committing a crime, getting 8 years in prison, coming out and being the exact same person that you were before you went into prison. Reform is actually changed behavior. And Gypsy wouldn't know anything about changed behavior because she doesn't think that she's doing anything wrong. So why would she need to change behavior and reform? So how can she advocate for reform when she hasn't reformed herself? And if Ken and Gypsy are truthfully living together and he is not having any space to himself, I can probably see why he is having a hard time and why he is visibly upset. It looks like he needs some space. Whether he is starting to realize that Gypsy is not the person that he thought she was, or if he is just tired of the situation altogether, Gypsy smothering him and not giving him space to allow for his own processing is only going to push him further away. But I think that there's something going on between the two of them because as I pointed out in the video that I posted yesterday, him and her, their body language does not seem like they're having a good relationship. Going to counseling already doesn't seem like they're having a good relationship. And then on top of that, those pictures that she posted, purposely excluding her pregnant belly, was done as either a way to make Ken jealous, make Ryan jealous, or attract a new male supply. She is seeing that she's done with that relationship too. And if hoovering Ryan back into a relationship is out of the question, she is on the hunt for a new supply, and that's why she posted those thirst trap pictures. Tell me what you think. I love discussing narcissism and how it relates to Gypsy and her behavior. This is not me diagnosing her. This is all for entertainment purposes only. If you like the content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to share, please. Leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.